Next day now, and just come in to check on the tank to see what it's like. It's looking good. So I brought my old fuel tank down here because I've decided I'm going to do a little experiment. Look at that. So this tank's rotted through. It had pinholes in it everywhere, which just got worse, and the paint was lifting. But you can see the original paint job I had on there. So we've got the Monza blue on the top, and then where this this curve line is, we put a seam on there and then ran it around. And I just, like I said before, I can't quite make my mind up whether to do exactly the same thing again, because I do like all the blue, or now that the black's going to be a bit more of a feature in it, whether to bring it up with the original Suzuki line and then strike it straight across that flat panel to get a bit more of the black. But as you can see, it's got some damage, pretty bad, where a certain young lady I won't name was climbing all over the slabby, and I had a Thunder Ace parked next to it as well, and the slabby fell over, which fell onto the Thunder Ace, which fell over onto my mum's car. So we damaged the slabby paint job. We put a hole in the Thunder Ace fairing, and then we put a big gouge down the passenger door of the car. That was a nice day. But anyway, to do this experiment, the other way of getting some kind of an effect on there, I thought, well, what better? Might as well just use this tank as a practice piece. So I've just given it a quick rub up. I'm going to whack some of that blue on there, not too much, just for effect really, and hopefully that'll just dry on there enough for me to experiment with doing the other effect. So the one that I sort of was dead set on doing was the dabby bag method. I don't know, but the previous way to do it that I always knew about, which I hadn't tried, was sort of put a wet coat on there and then slap the cling film on it and then munge it around a bit and whip it off. So I'm gonna try and do that actually with that tank and see what it is, because the dabby bag method is just, it seems a little bit too hit and miss for me. Like, I'm not entirely convinced all over the consistency of getting the effect I'm after. I quite like some of the effects that you can get, but just don't seem too confident that I can get that effect first time without going, oh no, there's too much on there. Got to clean it all off somehow and then try again. So we're going to try the sticky plastic or cling filmy method and see if it's a bit more predictable. So I'm going to give that a go now. Okay doke, right, so I've just chucked a bit of primer on. I'll put the light here to dry it up a bit quick. I'm not fussed about what it looks like. Stuck my base blue on there, that's gone off a bit now, so I think, again, I don't know what's going to happen here. So got my crinkly bag, got my black spray, and I'm just going to whack a fairly heavy coat on there and slap this bag on it and see what happens, eh? Got more blue in it than the black. down on there again and see what happens. Oh yeah, that ruined it. Let's do a bit around this other side here. Let's just run a bit around this edge here, man. Just that one pass. Use that sponge. Quite funky. I don't know, I'm getting a more consistent look there. Now I hit the bag on that one twice, that ruined that. It didn't look too bad, but it had my fingerprints, like my, you know, but tapping it with the sponge there got me a more consistent kind of creasing and flatting effect. That there is particularly good. And of course, it's sort of removing the paint that I sprayed on, you know, 20 minutes ago. So, yeah, it's kind of removing that paint layer that I put on 20 minutes ago because it hadn't really gone off. But it goes to show how the effect can materialise. What I'm going to do actually, I think I've got a side here that's clear. I'm going to let that harden off, like maybe for half an hour under this light, so that it's kind of stuck there a bit better, and then I'm going to try that again. But that's excited me a bit more. I mean, I kind of like both effects, but if I'm trying to get a marble effect, the sticky bag one's sort of the best, whereas the other effect is it's not really marbly, but it's quite a cool effect. So I'll have to have a think about that and see what I think. So I'll come back to you in a minute when this is sort of dried off a bit better, and I'll do another run on that and see what we think. That is perfect, because I want it to kind of look black, and then when you get closer to it, there's something going on. So I reckon that's the method. Super crinkly bag, and then yeah. Right, well, I've just been advised that if I'm happy with my first base coat colour on this tank, that before I do another base coat colour, I should lacquer it. Which I wasn't expecting. I don't know what I thought I was going to flat it back and then mask it off, do the other paint job, and then lacquer it all afterwards. But apparently, if I'm happy with that and I've got no more coats going on it, that I should lacquer it, and then I can very lightly sand it for the next base coat to go on the back. It makes sense. to sort of seal that colour in as it is, and so I don't know, I've got a choice now. I can either flat this and put another coat on, or I can just bury it in lacquer. I think I'm probably going to do that. I think I'm just going to bury it in lacquer. Good morning. Bit of an unknown for me. I'm actually up before work to come down here and put a layer of lacquer on my tank. So last night I I gave the tank a little rub down just to flatten back, and then I put one clean coat over the top of it before I left last night, and it's looking a lot, well, flatter. But this morning I wanted to come in and put a layer of lacquer on it. I would have hung around and did it last night, but I didn't have a tin of lacquer, and I was hoping that I had some in the garage, so, which I did, because otherwise I'd have to wait till Halford's opened or something. So I'm going to get this can all nice and shook up, and then stick a layer of lacquer on there. Alright, so here we go. This is the moment of truth. I've got my plastic bag pre-crinkled. It's been overnight sort of screwed up to give the best crinkle effect I can get. And so what I'm hoping now is that I'm going to be able to get the coverage and get the bag on. The best results I've had is if I've left it for like 10 to 15 seconds on there. So I need to get my paint on there and then get the bag on there straight away. And hopefully this bag is big enough. It was yesterday. Going to do it all in one go. Are we ready? Oh God. Right, here we go. Where's my torch gone? Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, I couldn't see from this angle whether I'd actually got it, but I have. Hey, that's not bad. Hang on, let's get the camera down so we can have a look. Let's put that on the floor so I can step on it in a minute. Here we go. Yeah. Well, I'm pretty pleased with that. And I noticed yesterday when I was getting ready to do this on my testing tank over there, that when I sprayed the dark blue on the light blue, I only did that like 20 minutes before I put the black on. And of course, when the paint hits the other paint, it kind of melts it again because it's that sort of aerosol can effect. They actually pulled some of the light blue through the dark blue, and I was like, I don't know if I actually want that. So of course I prepped this last night to do this in the morning to give that a chance to not pull the dark blue off. But I can see in a few spots it has actually lifted to the light blue. Probably better in the daylight. And I don't mind it actually. It appears to sort of highlights it even more. But yeah, first hit, first try, it's worked a treat. So I'm going to let that go hard now, and then hopefully slap some lacquer on it. You'll see that in a minute. Oh, I couldn't wait to come and see this in the morning in some normal daylight. So I put a couple of coats of lacquer on it last night. 3 in fact. I couldn't stop looking at it last night. It was ace, you know. But yeah, it's not only is the effect really good, but I like the fact that it looks black. You come here, it looks black. And then, I mean, even you get close to it, it still looks pretty black. And then you stick some light on it. What it does in the sunlight, I don't know. That's going to be the, you know, I'm really keen to see what it's like in the sunlight. But, so that's cool. I've got to repair all this damage that I've done somehow. I mean, again, third time I'll say it, I'm no painter. You know, I've been making mistakes all along the way. But, you know, learning from them. I've got a bit of a scratch here from a Stanley blade that I did the other day. I think I mentioned that earlier. And then there's this bleeding as well, but that's all now in that lacquer coat. So I'm going to, oh, there's a bit of a, I don't know how that's happened. Just don't know how that's happened. See that? Get the air there, right on that. No idea how that's happened. But I'm going to sort of do some repair work on this. I've got the white pinstripe in, because of course the original paint's got, well, not original, the previous paint job's got the white pinstripe, and we'll go with that again. It covers up a little multitude of sins there. So I'm going to clean this edge off, and then we're going to start flattening this back a bit, real gentle, along with that, and then hopefully we'll get a nice lacquer coat on top and just sort of bury it and get it nice and smooth and shiny and glossy and loveliness. So that's what I'm going to do today. I probably won't film it. I haven't actually got that long, so it's not going to be all that interesting. But you'll probably see the finished product when I'm done. Catch you later.